Hello, if you are a Scorpio or Scorpio moon or rising, welcome. My name is Tree Cat and this is Tree Cat Tarot, and here I'm going to just pull out your cards while I give an intro. Here we do some pick a cards, but mostly we do monthly zodiac reads for the upcoming month. I am a big believer in looking at all three of your signs, rising, sun, and moon, to get the most comprised look at what your own personal month is going to offer you. Always take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't, as your own intuition is always going to be the most powerful guide that you will ever have. I am just a messenger. So if all that resonates to you, go ahead and stick around, and we're going to look over some oracle cards first, and then general tarot for your month of February. Oh boy. And then we're also going to pull some tarot for your love and relationships for the month of February, as well as your career and finances, and your health and spirituality. So we just pull one more oracle, and we will jump right into what these babies say. All right. Oh, isn't that just so Scorpio of you? All right. So we have life purpose, card number 22. We have courage, card number 8. This is Andrasta. That is I want to say she is a Irish goddess, but I'm not sure. She might be Germanic. Pretty sure this is Bridget. And then we have, I feel so uninspired right now. Blank should get me motivated. Your two answers are going vegan for a day. Don't come at me, you meat lovers. If you don't like it, you can ignore that piece of advice. But really, you should eat more vegetables. Also, giving a random person a compliment. So, what else do we have here? We have cross, number 36. Let's get into it. So, the 8th and the 22nd of February could be important to you at this time. There's a lot of night-esque imagery here. It's definitely night in the background here. It is night moving into daytime here. And you see both daylight and nighttime over here. It also is giving the feeling of duality. Actually, I think it's particularly interesting that we see day going into night and then night moving back into day. So it could be a symbol that the beginning and the end of February are particularly good to you, but the middle of it might be a little bit rougher. With life purpose, encourage, and cross. Cross talks about burdens, trauma, things that we are holding on to from childhood. Courage in the face of conflict and manifesting your dreams. I feel like you are in a place right now, Scorpio, of needing to probably release something that you've been holding on to for quite some time in order to actually step into a higher version of yourself. And being the sign that you are, you're not a stranger to reinventing yourself. That's kind of your whole shtick. Like if every single zodiac sign had a superpower, yours would be the ability to rebirth. Being a phoenix, being able to literally burn down the life that you previously had and rebuild a new one from the ashes. That's Scorpio moon, Scorpio suns, and Scorpio risings can all do that really well. And they're very comfortable doing it to a degree that's actually scary to the other signs. But I digress. In the month of February, you are being asked to once again re examine something within yourself and figure out what needs to go. what is no longer serving you, what needs to go so you can step into a higher version of yourself here. I'm going to check the book actually to see exactly where this goddess comes from, but I'm pretty damn sure she's an Irish goddess. So, if Irish or Celtic deities are your thing, maybe you need to reach out to them a little bit more. Um, for signs and symbols, we have a falcon, we have a crow, we have rabbits and swans and wolves. Very woodsy type creatures. Oh, I'm sorry, not a raven, not a crow, but a raven. It doesn't say what pantheon she comes from. It does mention her being a warrior goddess, however. And yeah, the other one is Bridget. I feel like what you're suffering from more than anything else right now is self-limiting beliefs. Self-limiting beliefs that are stemming from or creating a sense of guilt. With the cross over here, the story behind this card is the girl with the red shoes. This girl goes to town and basically, rather than getting medicine that would save her mother's life, she spends the money on these red shoes that she would really like, thinking basically that she kind of just took her mother for granted and believed that she would simply be fine. She was not fine. Mama died. And so these shoes, then, because she died, these shoes were cursed to literally like never stop moving and never stop dancing. So this girl was basically cursed to just keep moving through life, constantly walking, constantly dancing, just total exhaustion. Until finally she comes across an old man and she admits to him um, what had happened, how she acquired these shoes, and she basically releases her trauma. She admits what happened, she releases her trauma. She, the idea of confessing, right? And releasing it. And through her confessing how she had gotten where she was, he is then able to lift the curse and she can finally rest. Maybe some of you have childhood trauma regarding your mother, and that is something you need to let go of in order to step into your higher self. The other thing I'm getting here with your scenario and answer cards, I'm feeling so uninspired right now. Blank should get me motivated. Going vegan for a day, giving a random person a compliment. Um, both of these come from the cord that connects these two actions is a very high level of kindness, right? There are a lot of people who follow a vegan lifestyle, and the reason they follow it is due to, well, animal cruelty. And for some of them, the reason they follow it is not necessarily due to the animal cruelty, but that could be part of it, but also because, from an ecological point of view, living on animal products to the degree that we do, at least in the Western world, is very hard on the earth. It's incredibly hard on the earth, and it's incredibly hard on the people who work in those factories and facilities. Giving a random person a compliment, that is something that has to come from like such a large place of kindness and such a large place of being human. I'm not saying you're not innately a kind person. I'm not saying that whatsoever. In fact, if you're capable of doing either of those things, that shows how kind you are innately. What I think Spirit is kind of going towards is your trauma potentially is giving you right now a heart blockage or making you emotionally unavailable. And maybe you kind of just danced through life or kept moving through life, being hyper productive or always chasing dopamine, just kind of being go, go, go. And it's so you don't have to stop and feel what actually hurts. And that's very common, right? On top of it, Scorpios are kind of well known for being having a very devil may care attitude, constantly chasing some type of mental high. And it's because, like any other water sign, they feel things incredibly deeply. But, like, unlike the other two water signs, Pisces and Cancer are both very cool with, like, I'll just cry about shit. That's fine. Scorpio is capable of feeling their feelings, but they'd rather not cry about shit. They would just really rather not. They feel it's a waste of life, right? And while, throwing yourself a pity party and deciding to just live that way your entire life, that is a waste of life. You are taking from yourself by not allowing yourself to feel things, because when you don't let yourself feel things, when you don't let emotions go, they just find places inside of your body to live, and they just stay with you and stay with you and stay with you and create limiting beliefs and do all kinds of other fun little renovations inside of your body and your mind, essentially. So, yeah, I feel like overall, what you're going to be doing in February is learning how to feel the things you actually need to feel. And you might be doing things that are for you slightly out of the box or, not necessarily in your wheelhouse, kind of just being a sign of extremes anyway. Like, I could totally see a Scorpio, like, deciding, I'm going to try to really be in my feelings. And how can I be in my feelings? I can compliment 20 people a day. I can go off meat for a month. I can go visit old folks. I can watch a bunch of movies. I can go to a funeral I have no business being at. Like, just let me fucking feel something. I could see a Scorpio being like, I need to do this. I need to do this as extreme as I possibly can. I digress. I just looked over and Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads is playing, and I landed on the lyrics, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Literally making sure life is not passing you by just because you were going moment to moment to moment. Be in a moment, be present, feel everything there is to feel. Because the other thing, too, is if you're not allowing yourself to feel the pain that you need to feel, you're also not allowing yourself the ability to really take in joy and happiness, because there's still a blockage occurring. A blockage to your emotions doesn't just stop at one particular emotion, it's going to interrupt all of them to some degree. All right. So, if you're still here, let's go ahead and take it into the tarot. Also, just noticing how colorful these two cards are. Maybe you'll be seeing a lot of rainbows in the month of February. I feel like this wants to come out, so there it is. We have the Four of Swords in the reverse. I feel like I need to take those together, so we'll take them together. Of course, you would have like more than one card for almost every single section. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. So we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. We have the Hermit, which is card number 9. That is Virgo energy. And we have the Ace of Fire in reverse coming out with the Hermit. And then we have the Queen of Water in the reverse. So Four of Air talks about needing to move, needing to get on something that you've been putting off. But considering the Hermit is out here, and he came out with the Ace of Fire in the reverse. The Ace of Fire in reverse is having a lot of fire and motivation and a lot of inspiration. No idea what the hell to do with it. It's like when you're trying to think of a business venture and you come out with 50 ideas and you're just so excited by every single one of them that you don't know what direction to go in, so you don't go in any. That's the Ace of Fire in reverse. Um, the Hermit, however, is isolation, solitude, going within, introspection, all the shit I just told you that you need to be doing, which is addressing your emotions. It could be that you get a really big wake up call in the beginning of February that you're like, fuck, I'm not as emotionally available as I thought I was, or I have a lot more blockages than I thought I did. And so then it's not necessarily anything in a practical sense, like it's not having to move really fast on a job or move really fast on an apartment or anything like that. What you are making a lot of fast, quick moves on is knowing that you need to do more healing, knowing that you need to release more trauma and burdens. The problem is that I see you not really knowing how to go about it. You know you need to do it, you don't really know how to go about it, and that's further implicated by the Queen of Water in the reverse over here. She is very emotionally unavailable, or if she is emotionally available, she's incredibly manipulative. Um, the Queen of Water in reverse is also an indicator of someone who needs to be pouring into themselves and in a compassionate way. Someone who needs to There's two different types of self-love, and they're both equally valid, don't get me wrong. But there are two different types of self-love. There's the self-love, which is the bubble baths and the face masks and the taking care of your hair and skin and nails and going to the gym, like the very visual type of self-love. The very results driven self-love, the shit you can see, the shit in the physical, right? And then fuck. No Love by Summer Walker featuring SCA is playing right now, and you need to listen to this song because I feel like this is the vibe you have been in, but you're only now realizing you were in this vibe. You need to listen to this song. Holy shit. Um, Anyway, back to what I was saying. So there's the kind of self love that you can see a person is doing, going to the gym, eating well, taking care of their body. That's self love. That's totally self love. That's totally valid. Then there's the other kind of self love that is not as physically evident in the short term. It's much more physically evident over time, which is having compassion for yourself, noticing that you don't feel like doing something, which is part of your normal routine, and saying, okay, I don't have to do that right now. It's okay. There's no shame, there's no guilt. Alternatively, discipline is another kind of self love. But you have to be able to balance discipline and compassion, right? You can't shame yourself into doing stuff that you don't feel like doing, especially if you're tired, you're sick, whatever. On the other side of that, you cannot give yourself every single excuse in the world and say you need to lose a lot of weight. You don't have to go to the gym if you're sick, and you don't have to go to the gym if you're depressed, even though a lot of studies show that that would be beneficial to you. You don't have to do it. You also don't have to go to the gym if you are exhausted and you just worked a 14-hour shift. You don't have to do that. That is fine. However, you do need to love yourself to realize that you deserve being healthy. that you deserve not being in pain all the time. Because trust, if you've never been overweight, you don't know, but those of you who are or have been overweight, you know it is physically painful on your joints, which is part of the reason it's hard to like lose the weight because you're hurting already. So why am I going to add more pain to it? Um, and noticing that you're having a hard time getting out of bed, maybe, and instead of like using a harsh voice with yourself and being like, you need to get the fuck out of bed, instead you talk to yourself the way you might a child. And you say things like, can you get out of bed for me? Can you get out of bed for me, please? I would love it if you got out of bed. And you notice yourself. Put your feet over the bed. Good. That's great. You did a good job. You notice yourself. Sit up. Wonderful. That's such a good job you're doing. Good girl or good boy, whatever. And good them. Good person. You actually get up. If you are someone who normally talks to yourself in a very harsh voice, I would love for you to learn to talk to yourself in a much kinder voice, in a voice that you probably have never heard. That's kind of what I'm getting more than anything else. Someone who doesn't know how to talk to themselves in a kind voice, and it's time you learn. This world can be very hard, this life can be very difficult, and people aren't always amazing. But you should be amazing to yourself. You should be kind to yourself. The other thing I see here is I do see you spending more time alone overall in the month of February. And it's probably so you can focus on the self love and the self care. We probably won't see a lot in terms of your love and relationships, but let's go ahead and move on to that part just to see what we do have there. So, love and relationships for Scorpio, please, Spirit. Love, thank you. Oh, yeah, Ace of Water in the reverse. Oh, we do have renewal, card number 20. That's judgment. I had to think about it for a second. I literally haven't pulled this deck in so long. So, with Ace of Water in the reverse and Judgment, also Judgment is pretty sure Judgment Scorpio energy actually, so there you are. Um you're looking back, and this could be actually what causes you to decide I need to work on my emotional body. You're going to be looking at a relationship that you have, most likely a romantic one, and either you are realizing that this relationship is not for you, or you realize that you are not giving this person the version of you that you would rather give them. The Ace of Water in reverse can be a breakup, or it could simply be falling out of love with somebody. Either way, you are realizing that you are not in a place to attempt to give yourself romantically to another person. And like I said earlier, this is likely what actually spurs this decision that you make. Realizing you are not emotionally available, or realizing that you are not giving anyone the best version of you that you can possibly give. So you end the connection and you go ahead and start working on yourself. And I feel like for the vast majority of you, that is not news. You're already thinking about it. If that doesn't apply to you, if you're in a great relationship, then ignore that. But for many of you, I feel like this isn't news. It's just confirmation. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to your career and finances. I feel like your read's going to be one of the shorter ones. We have the Fool in reverse, or the Dreamer. And we have the Two of Fire. So the Dreamer is Aquarius energy. With him being coming out in the reverse, it's you not following your curiosity and not following your passion. What's odd about that is seeing the Two of Fire out here, or the Two of Wands. The Two of Fire, the Two of Wands talks about readiness. Um, it could be that you turn away from a career that is your dream career. Like maybe you get an opportunity for your dream career and you decide to turn away from it simply for the sake of it's not practical right now. It would not meet your needs right now. So, like, maybe it's your dream career, but it's an internship and you have bills to pay. Or, it requires you to have a job so that it requires you to have a job. That's not what I meant to say. It requires you to have a car because there's a lot of like going from one place to another in the course of a day or a week. And right now, either you don't have a car or it's not super reliable. There is a practical reason that you turn away from a job that's a career job. That's a career job. That's a dream job. Wow. Excuse all of that. Or maybe it's your limiting beliefs just getting in the way. Your mouth just running away with you. Um, I don't have a feeling that this is going to be the last time that you receive an opportunity like this. It's just kind of not right now. Right now is not a good time. If right now was a good time to go after that kind of career and to be able to hold on to it and for it to be the right fit for you, it would occur at a time that it would work well. It would occur in such a way that it felt aligned and it wasn't going to cause you great difficulty. Again, I don't, like I said, this is not going to be the last time that your dream career comes to you. It will come to you at a later time. I feel like this is another thing that Spirit's going to be signaling to you to work on is whatever practical thing it is that prevents you from taking this. This is going to be something else for you to work on, whether, again, that be acquiring a car, or maybe there's some repairs it needs, or maybe one of the reasons you have a lot of bills to pay is because you need to pay down some debt. So stay the course of a more practical way of meeting your needs just for now. So let's go ahead and move on to your health and spirituality. Yeah, this is going to be a short read compared to the other ones. Health and spirituality for Scorpio, please. Health and spirituality for Scorpio. Okay. I just heard Rufy, oh, but I think of that every time I do your recording. We have the Two of Air. I feel like you have a lot of twos out here. Two of Air, Two of Fire, Renewals, card 20. Did we have any other? Yeah, 22. So 2 could be a lucky number for you right now. So for health and spirituality, we have the Chariot coming out with the Two of Air. So the Two of Air is needing to make a decision and being unable to. The Chariot is the need to move forward. The Chariot is always depicted with obviously a chariot or a cart and like two horses or two cats or two sphinxes. The image I'm getting with these two coming out together is two things in your life that are causing an issue. They are clashing. And it's in terms of your health and spirituality. The Chariot is also Cancer energy. So, again, that comes back to the idea of the mother, maternity, a mother wound. It could be that I feel like for some of you, you've had another major maternal figure in your life outside of the mother you were born with or the one that raised you. So it could be that right now you're dealing with an issue of two maternal voices who are clashing and at odds with each other. That's what I'm getting for some of you. For others of you, it's you know that you need to work on your self compassion and you are trying your best, but that wound is just screaming and raging and creating a huge internal conflict. The Chariot being the Chariot, though, you are going to get on the other side of this. You are going to have forward movement. I just feel like until you get on the other side of the way you speak to yourself, the way you relate to yourself, your blockages, your wounds, until you get to the other side of it, there's just going to be a lot of ways in which this is interrupting your life and clashing with other things. I don't advise you attempt to make any real moves in terms of your practical life, whether so that's part of why like right now you're not aligned with a dream career that comes towards you because that's not what you need to be focusing on right now. You would not be able to hold it down with the way that you think about yourself or talk to yourself. That's why you end a relationship, either because you know you're not the best version of you or you don't have feelings for that person anymore, because this is what needs to be addressed first and foremost. I've had a couple signs actually that have had a very similar reading. This not exactly like yours, but like addressing mental health has been a big theme for most of the signs throughout this series so far, so it doesn't surprise me that I'm seeing it again with you. But yeah, that is all I have for you, Scorpio. Thank you for coming to your read. If this was satisfactory to you, please like, comment, and or subscribe. Go ahead and take a look at your other signs so that you can get a better picture of what your February is going to look like. Maybe you can get a little bit more clarity on how to address this. If you would like an extreme amount of clarity, I do offer personal reads. The link for my calendar is in the description below. And you just set up the appointment and I will confirm it with you and we'll shoot you a text just to confirm the details and such. But if not, I just enjoy this energy exchange. I just enjoy making these videos, quite honestly. So yeah. Have a good February, Scorpio. Don't be too hard on yourself about the lack of outward progress. Inward progress is always the best. And I will see you again soon. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye.